Hey there. So in this chapter, we're going to talk about what should you outsource first in order to really generate the most cash in your business. We're also going to talk about how can you get out of overwhelm, really get the time freedom you deserve, and understand what's a priority to delegate and what maybe you should wait on. Last but not least, we'll talk about how to take this to the next level so you can continually replace yourself in your business. So if you were to do a quick Google search on what to outsource first, you'd come up with a lot of different things. You might come up with things like outsource the things you hate to do or outsource the things you don't have technical skills for. And those might be a great place to start, or they might not be. Here's the thing. If you outsource the wrong things in your business, you're not going to make any more money. So where do you start with your outsourcing? Well, where you start depends on where you're at. So if you're totally swamped and you have absolutely no time, then it's critical that you find the tasks in your business that are just sucking time and money out of your day so that you can start to replace those tasks with more profitable activities.
So let's do a little pop quiz. What do you think you should outsource first? Do you think it's A, the tasks that you hate to do, B, the tasks that are low dollar per hour, C, the tasks you don't have the skills for, or D, tasks that are taking you the most time? So if you answered D, you were right. So all of those other items are amazing, but here's the thing. When it comes to what to outsource first and foremost, you're going to want to spend the bulk of your time eliminating the tasks in your business that are literally sucking money out of your pockets by doing them yourself. So that's where you begin. Now, are all those other items awesome to outsource? Absolutely. But do that when you have the cash to do it. So where do you start? Well, you start with a time inventory. So you need to start to understand where is your time going right now. If you want to do this in a really simple way, you can just make a list to see, where is your time going? Or if you want to get a little bit fancier, you can use a tool like Time Doctor. So Time Doctor will literally just take an inventory of how are you spending your time. And that's a great way to keep a running list to see exactly where your time is going. After you have your list, you want to see where is your time going on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Then if you want to take this a step further, you can start to categorize things and see, are these mostly admin tasks, tech tasks, writing tasks, social media tasks, marketing tasks, client-facing or customer support tasks, graphic design tasks, data entry tasks, research tasks, etc. And what's really cool about this is this will help you understand the exact types of tasks you need handled and the exact skill set of the type of person you're going to hire. Now, for most people, hiring a general virtual assistant to handle your day-to-day tasks is going to be the right place to start. But for some people, it's going to be more specific. Maybe you're so bogged down with the technical stuff that you need to hire a tech genius. Or maybe you're spending all day trying to make your website look professional, and that's actually keeping you from marketing and selling your product or service. So in that instance, you might want to hire a website designer to handle that for you. But it's all going to come down to looking at this time inventory and really figuring out what tasks are blocking you from your highest dollar per hour tasks.
Now listen, I realize you might have some resistance to this. It is totally natural to feel like no one can do the tasks in your business as well as you can. I promise you that when you're outsourcing the right things, they absolutely can. And if you're still a little bit stuck on this, I'm going to give you a mantra. Control freak equals broke freak. Don't be a broke freak.
Now, before we move on, I wanted to go through quick notes about this time inventory. First and foremost, it's important that you go through the chapter called Focus on the Right Tasks. So that's in this module as well. And once you go through Focus on the Right Tasks, you're going to start to see what projects you can completely eliminate from your life and your business. Because part of the reason that we feel overwhelmed in our businesses is we're just doing so much. So it's important to go through Focus on the Right Tasks first so you can start to get rid of some of the overwhelm, and you'll be left with only the most essential things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Then you want to do the time inventory. This brings us to a Peter Drucker quote that I love, and it is, "There is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all." Thank you, Peter Drucker. I agree. Don't outsource stuff you don't need done. The next important note is to look at your time inventory and don't discount areas where you're actually spending time on your personal life instead of spending time on your business. So if you're finding that you are continually preparing meals, having childcare, or potentially doing your laundry during your dedicated business time, those may be some tasks that you might want to slowly let go of in order to make room for your most profitable activities. Now, I'm not saying if you're uncomfortable with it, go get a nanny or sitter. Maybe that's not your first step, but it's just important to be conscious about where your time is going and start to relinquish yourself from doing every single thing in your life and your business.
Now, if you're not totally overwhelmed, then you may not want to begin with outsourcing your time sucks. Instead, you want to outsource the tasks that are going to help you generate the cash in your business the fastest. So maybe you find that every time you go to a networking event, you walk away with boatloads of contacts. Well, you can't actually outsource the going of the event. I know, huge surprise there. But what you can do is get someone to research what are the best events that you might show up to and thereby save yourself hours and hours of time. And you can even have someone outline your ideas so that when you go on Periscope, you seem even more prepared and even smarter than you already are, which might be hard because I know you're probably pretty brilliant.
Now that you understand what you want to outsource first, it's just as important to understand what you shouldn't outsource if you don't want to go brokey broke. You don't want to outsource your core competencies, the areas of your business that you do better than anyone. So, for example, if you're a health coach, it's not the best practice to outsource your coaching sessions. Now, eventually you can hire the coaches to work under you if you want to, but that's definitely not where you want to begin your outsourcing initiatives. Another area of your business that you don't want to outsource is your planning and your strategy. In your business, you need to be the person with the big picture vision of where your brand is going. Now, you can definitely hire a creative team to help you with the ideation process if that's not your jam, but you need to be the visionary and you can't completely outsource your strategy. You need to be involved to take your brand to the next level and really steer your ship. And on the same note, you don't want to outsource your marketing. You can definitely hire a team to help you with this, but you need to be the one driving your marketing initiatives. So if you haven't already invested some time in mastering marketing, selling, and copywriting, you'll definitely want to pick up some courses or audiobooks to really help drive your sales to the next level. Remember, you don't have to be involved in every step of the marketing process, but you do need to understand it enough to lead the strategy. As the CEO, your number one responsibility is bringing money in the door, and understanding your customers and what motivates them is a huge part of that. So you don't want to just hire a marketing agency as the first thing you outsource and lose complete control over fundamentally what should be your number one job. Along the same lines, you don't want to outsource your sales. Now, this is a tricky one because when it comes to sales, you can outsource parts of your sales process, but you still need to be really careful when you're hiring someone to sell because there's a lot of liability when you have someone acting as a representative of your brand. So you really need to trust that person. So while it's definitely something you can move towards once you feel like you have the skill to identify top performers, it's not the first area of your business you want to outsource. Another area of your business that you want to be cautious when outsourcing is your financials. So for most team members, you aren't going to want them to have access to your bank account or your mint.com statements. And you can outsource your bookkeeping, but you need to be cautious about the amount of information that you're giving them. So obviously you probably don't want to give them access to your bank account information or anything that in a worst case scenario, the laws of some other country are not going to protect you against. And you know this, but it's worth saying. What you can do is segment the information so someone has part of what they need to do the task and not the complete picture. Or if you want to hire a bookkeeper, then that's something I think you should outsource locally. And the last area of your business that you probably don't want to outsource are non-recurring, highly personalized tasks. So these tasks take more time to explain than they would be to do personally, and they're just one-time tasks. So for example, let's say you order a different sandwich every day. It doesn't necessarily make sense to tell your assistant, Alex, to order you a sandwich that's on white bread with ham, cheddar, with pickles, but not onion, toasted with mayo on the side, because telling Alex your sandwich order takes just as much time as picking up the phone or putting it into Seamless yourself. Now, if you order the same sandwich every day, then this could be a task that you might outsource. So you just want to be on the lookout for tasks that take more time to explain that are not recurring. And what's really exciting about this is you can continually repeat this process in your business. So as you grow from a 5 to 6 figure level, 6 to 7 figure level, or 7 to 8 figure level, you're going to want to continually do time inventory, see how you're spending your time, and then replace yourself in your business and really just focus on what you do best, which is bringing in money and being the visionary and being the chief badass that you are. What this is a chart that really helps you visualize what's a priority to delegate and what you should be focusing on. So there's tasks that you hate to do that are low dollar per hour tasks. There's tasks that you hate to do that are big dollar per hour tasks. There's things that you love to do that are low dollar per hour tasks. And there's things that you love to do that are going to make you a lot of money. And this is the sweet spot. This is where you want to focus in order to maximize the growth in your business. So now you know what you should outsource to guarantee the best ROI on your workers. You also know what you should not outsource. Let's talk about final thoughts here. So your number one job as the CEO, as we've talked about, is to really just drive profits in your business. Now, side note, I don't want you to start outsourcing everything all at once. If you're anything like the people I've taught in the past, sometimes there's this tendency to get so excited about outsourcing that you're like, oh my God, I got to outsource everything all at once, which is great. But in order to have the best success with this is really an instance where slow and steady wins the race. So what you want to do is start to create systems in your business and get great results with those systems, and then outsource a little more and then a little more, and you'll be in a really good place. So let's talk about action steps. Now that you've been through this chapter, it's really key that you do the exercises in this chapter. This chapter is really setting the foundation of what you need to outsource first. And after you get through this, everything is going to be so much easier. So it's a little bit of time up front, but definitely take this time because, as I keep saying, it takes a little bit of time to get your time back. And you, my friend, are totally worth that. So do these exercises and I'll see you in our next chapter.